Chapter 25, so naturally it starts with why. I don't know what people have responded to my question about what they might have chosen X, Y, and Z to be. Anyway, so this chapter is basically about good habits of programming. And it takes a leaf out of an earlier work that I will talk about in just a moment and focuses on writing readable code that helps not only the reader, the teacher or classroom peers, but also learners themselves. And that should be one of our goals when we teach programming, writing readable code or clean code. And it shouldn't be an afterthought, that's taught later on, but because many of the ideas shared in this chapter actually help students develop a stronger foundation of coding skills, actually. So the inspiration for this chapter comes from two sources. One, you can see, is also the inspiration for the title of the chapter. It's a 1986 article by Joni and Soloway that I have loved for years. And the other is this one on Programming Pearls by John Bentley, which is kind of dated now, but I love the idea of the pragmatics of coding, which are often never taught, but so important. So this chapter actually distills, several key programming pearls as, just borrowing that phrase. And, just as examples from these articles and from programming pearls, the pearls, of course, are very pithy and very interesting. The last one, don't debug standing up, and many of them sort of talk about older languages or software engineering, but several are very useful for what we are teaching in K-12. So this chapter basically, shares lots of do's and don'ts, around naming of variables, language constructs, modularizing code, testing and error handling, iteratively building, commenting, things that we sometimes leave out of our intentional teaching process. And there are also things to avoid: unreachable code, code duplication. Code duplication, of course, is a wonderful way to motivate the use of functions. Fine-grained and bottom-up coding that is inspired by this wonderful article by Mir Gomsalan, Mikhal Armoni, and Moti Ben-Ari from 2012, which says that, languages like Scratch and Snap, and often, the ones that sort of get kids going right away, often have this, paradigm of coding, and that can sometimes become problematic when, it's sort of in opposition with, top-down or planning before coding. Inappropriate use of conditionals and loops. But the big point that it makes here is that you want to call out these do's and don'ts, or demonstrate and model them and motivate these good habits, and make that a deliberate part of teaching introductory programming.